Let us consider this is impure metal of copper. Impure copper, from which pure copper is obtained by purification through electrolysis. Pure copper is obtained from impure copper through electrolysis process, which is purification of metal. In this lesson, we are going to learn purification of metal by electrolysis process. Let us see the matter in detail. Purification of metal by electrolysis. Let us consider this is a vessel, glassware or ceramic ware, in which solution of copper sulfate has been taken. Electrolytic solution of copper sulfate. In this solution, this is anode, which is impure copper, and this is cathode, which is pure copper. Now, these two electrodes are connected with wires, with dry cell. This is positive end of the dry cell, and for this reason, this is positive in charge. This is negative end of the dry cell, and this electrode is connected to the negative end of the dry cell. For this reason, this is negative in charge. Now, the circuit is completed, in which anode is impure copper and cathode is pure copper, and this is external source of energy. Anode is positive in charge because this is connected to the positive end of the dry cell, and cathode is negative in charge because this is connected to the negative end of the dry cell. Now let us see what happens in the solution. In the solution, positively charged ion is copper ion. Here let us see. Reaction at anode. Reaction at cathode. First of all, let us see reaction that occurs at cathode. Cathode will be attracted by cations due to the opposite charge. That is, cations will move towards cathode, and this reaction occurs. Cation will receive electrons to form solid copper. In this way, cations will deposit on the surface of the cathode as copper atoms. Copper ions from the solution will be deposited on the surface of the cathode as copper metal. In this way, cathode gradually thickens. Now, let us see reaction at anode. Here, anion moves towards anode, but here no reaction occurs. But why? Because the stability of anions, nitrate ion, the most stable ion, then sulfate ion, after that chloride ion, then bromide ion, then iodide ion, after that hydroxide ion. From these stability series of anions, we see that sulfate ion is stable ion because oxygen is a highly electronegative element. Electronegativity is 3.5. Electronegativity of oxygen is 3.5. That is why sulfate ion, oxygen atoms do not release electrons because oxygen atom is a highly electronegative element. Simply we can say that sulfate ion is here is stable ion. So sulfate ions move towards anode, but no reaction occurs due to the stability of sulfate ion. On the other hand, copper ions move towards cathode and this reaction continues. As a result, in the solution, ratio of negative ions increases compared to positive ions. Concentration of negative ions increases with the passage of the time. That is, electrical neutrality is disturbed. To minimize the electrical neutrality created in the solution, anode provides opposite ions, positive ions, to balance the electrical neutrality. And here, this reaction occurs. Atom of copper goes to the solution as copper 2 plus ion from the solid copper anode. That is here. This reaction occurs. Copper from the anode goes to the solution as copper 2 plus ion, leaving 2 electrons. This reaction occurs at anode, copper 2 plus ion. In this way, in the solution, electrical neutrality is maintained. So, with the passage of the time, anode decays because copper atoms go to the solution as copper 2 plus ion to maintain electrical neutrality. And again, copper 2 plus ion deposits on the surface of the cathode. Cathode thickens with the passage of the time. In this way, anode decays and cathode thickens. Here, copper atoms go to the solution as copper 2 plus ions, which is called dissolution of copper. And copper 2 plus ions deposit on the surface of the cathode, which is called deposition of copper. So, at anode, dissolution of copper occurs, and at cathode, deposition of copper occurs. That is, copper dissolved from the anode and copper deposited at the cathode is proportional to the amount of current passed through it with the passage of the time. Copper dissolved from the anode and copper deposited at the cathode is directly proportional to the electricity passed through it with the passage of the time. Ultimately, all the copper atoms firstly go to the solution and then go to the cathode. Anode to solution, solution to cathode. In this way, all the copper atoms from the anode deposit on the surface of the cathode, and impurities present here fall at the bottom of the vessel. Impurities. In this way, impure copper is purified. Thank you for watching.